Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Lukasz and today I want to show you how to extract day names from dates. At the end of the video we will walk through a simple example of how we can use this in a practical scenario. So let's get started. First, let's take a look at the weekday function. Weekday returns a number that represents the day of the week. It has two arguments. So let's type weekday. And you can see first argument is serial number, second one is return type. As a serial number, we provide a date. So in our case, 12 September 2027. Second argument, it's a return type. And in here, you can actually choose what day your week start. So if you put 1, it means that your week starts with Sunday. If you enter 2, it means that your week starts with Monday. So my case is Monday, that's the start of the week, so I enter 2. Close the bracket, enter. Perfect. So what I can do now is just to copy my formula down, and it will work for sure, but I don't want to do it. We are in modern Excel, so instead I would like to do it as a spiller range. So instead of B10, I will select all of these dates. It will change my formula accordingly and press enter. Now I have it as a one formula with a spiller range. Now that we know the day's position in the week, we will replace that number with the actual day name. For that, we will use a choose function. So let's type equal choose, and now we need to provide index and values. Index is our number that we received from the weekday function, separator, and now we need to provide the values, and we know that we have 7 days in a week, so we want to provide 7 different values. So first mon, separator, due, separator, and so on and so on. We want Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Close the bracket, enter. As you can see, choose is replacing our number by the value that we provided in our next arguments. You can imagine it as this table. So we know that we have 7 possible numbers that we will get from weekday, and these will be replaced accordingly in the order that we write them. I write it in proper order, so it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here we also need to be careful. We define in our weekday formula that our week is starting with Monday. If we did it with Sunday, so I will change it to 1, then our weekday is returning 1 for this date, which should be Sunday, but I am here getting Monday, so I need to adjust my arguments and start with Sunday as first to reflect this change. If I do that, let's remove Sunday, and it's now properly showing me a Sunday. Okay, let me revert that really quick because I want my week to start with Mondays. So we remove that, adjust again. Sunday is our last day of the week, and I need to go back and change this argument to number 2, which means from Monday to Sunday. Enter. Last thing I want to do, again we are in modern Excel, so we are working with spiller range. So instead of D10 as my reference, I want to be D10 hash, which will actually select the whole array. Enter, and we are done. We have now the formula that is showing us all the day or the name days we want. Okay, one more quick adjustment. Right now we are using this helper column, but we can replace this link, and instead we can put our weekday as part of this formula. So weekday, provide our date range, close bracket, enter, and we are done. Now everything is as a part of one formula. Now let's talk about the second way to get the day name from a date, and that's the text function. The text function converts a value to a text in a specific number format. We can use that, provide our date, and then we need to specify our output. So we will use 3Ds here, close the bracket, enter, and now we have our day name. A little adjustment here. We are in modern Excel, so we want really to use ranges. So we use our range of the dates, confirm by enter, and now we spill the formula and we have all the results here. But hey, wait a second, these names looks kind of weird, right? So why is that? The reason is text is actually using localization. So in my case, I have a Czech version of Excel, so these are Czech names. What we can actually do is force Excel to use English. So these are the text code or shortcuts for different languages, and there is of course many of them. So I just put here a few examples. $sign 409, it's a shortcut for English, so I will copy that. And I will adjust my formula here. Just in front of DD, I will put this text code, which will now force Excel to translate everything and use as an English version. See, now it's working well. I still see a small issue here. As you can see, Monday and Sunday, these two columns should be identical. And the reason is that we have a mistake in here. I can already see in weekday we forget to use second argument and select that we want our week to start from Monday to Sunday. So let's correct that. We use the second argument, confirm, and now everything is perfect and everything is matching again. And which of these two options is better? Well, it really depends on a specific case. The choose approach might look more complex at first, but thanks to weekday, we also get the day in the week number, and that could be handy later on when we want to sort. The text function looks simpler at first, but again, we need to count that this is using your local language settings. Therefore, you might not get always English version. There's still one thing we can do for more advanced users. So let's copy our formula and we can do a lambda function from here. So let's do lambda. As a parameter, we will use dates. Then we copy our formula, close the bracket, and in here we also want to replace with date. Okay, enter. We have a calc error, but that's okay. We only want to copy and paste this, so copy. Then we go to formulas, define name, and we name our new function as fx, day name, and paste the formula we just created. Now we can just write equal fx day name, our new function, provide dates, close the bracket, and we are done. Keep in mind that because this is our local lambda, it is stored in here. It will only work for this specific spreadsheet we just created. And now let's move to some practical use of this. So let's switch our sheet. We will go to practical use, and here we have some data. These are the movies and the ticket sold for a cinema. Don't take it too seriously. This is ChatGPT created, so let's just quickly do some analysis and we use what we just learned. So I will create a table from this, Ctrl+T. Okay. Now let's correct this formatting. I don't want the filter button. These are dates. So let's do a dates. Short date, put it in the middle. Show time, this is actually time. ticket sold. This is a number, that's okay. And ticket price in euros, so let's do euros. Okay, now we have quickly formatted this one. And now we can move to a quick analysis. So what we want to see here, these are pretty much dates from January 2026. So we want to see how many tickets we sold per each day in a week. So let's do a quick helper column. So in here we will use weekdays. And in here we will put our day name. So let's do weekday. We will put our date as a serial number. And of course, do not forget a return type, which is 2 for me. Close the bracket, enter. Let's make it in center. And our day name will be equals, and we will use our new lambda function that we just created. Our date will be the date from the first column, close bracket, enter. Okay, let's make it center. This one also, let's center this one, and that's for a start. Now, when we created these helper columns, we can go to group by function, which we discussed at last time on my YouTube channel. For row fields, we will select these two. The values we want to count, it's ticket sold, and then the function is just a sum. Close the bracket, and that's pretty much what we wanted. In here, you might be asking why we are using weekday. We don't need weekday, right? We only need the days. Well, that's partially true. We are using weekdays because we wanted to sort it by number. If we sort it by the name of the days, then it will not start from Monday. It will probably start from Friday. And therefore, we added this helper weekday column to work like a sort column for us. We don't need it anymore, so let's do drop. Our array is our group by function, and we keep the rows as they are, and we want to drop one column, so one column drop, close the bracket. And now we see it. Everything looks perfect. The last thing what we want to remove is the total. So let's go to adjust the formula last time. We want to go after sum, field headers can keep, and no totals. So we put a 0 here, confirm by enter, and there is it. Perfect. Our last task is to create a simple chart from this. So let's do this simple chart, and we can nicely see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Perfect. And we can see our cinema is getting much more sold ticket during Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which sounds logical to me, while Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are quite low amount of tickets sold. And that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I would appreciate a like. If you want to learn more about group by function, I will leave a link to my other video in the description. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.